Okay, guys, today I'm going to talk about Form 4 Chemistry, Chapter 6, Acid, Base, and Salt 6.9, which is preparation of salt based on solubility in water. As you guys must remember, there's two types of salt, which is soluble and insoluble salt. And for soluble salt, one thing I want you guys to take note is the spa ions. Any ions that pair with the spa ions will become a soluble salt. The spa ions is a sodium ion, stands for sodium ions, potassium ion, and ammonium ion. Nextly, we have the nitrate ions. It's same as the spa ions. Any ions that is paired with the nitrate ions will also be a soluble salt. Thirdly, we have the halogen ion, which is the chloride ion, bromide ion, and iodide ion. Any ions paired with the halogen ion will also be a soluble salt, but except when the halogen ions pair with silver ions and lead-2 ion, which is I remember by APEC. And for sulfate ions, any ion paired with the sulfate ion will also become soluble except when they are paired with lead-2 ion, barium-2 ion, and calcium-2 ion, which is Pembacha. And next, we come to the insoluble salt. For the insoluble salt, all ions paired with carbonate ions will be insoluble, except when carbonate ions pair with the spa ions. This is why I said spa is really important. And same with the carbonate ion, all oxide and hydroxide ion will be insoluble when they pair with other ion, except when they are paired with spa and bacha, which is barium-2 ion and calcium-2 ion. And next, we have lead-2 ion, and all lead-2 ions paired with other ions, salt will be insoluble, except for lead-2 nitrate. Because every ions paired with nitrate ions will become soluble. And what I want you guys to take note here, any ions paired with spa is always soluble, will always become an insoluble salt. And how do I remember which type of ions paired with halogen salt and sulfur salt will become insoluble? I remember by APEC, old uncle, and Pembacha cannot swim in the river, cannot dissolve in the water. It's an insoluble salt, something like this. And next, we come from preparation of soluble salt. For spa salt, for salt paired with spa, for spa salt, the method to prepare for soluble salt, which is any ions paired with the spa ions become soluble salt. The name is titration. And I want you guys to take note that when the exam asks you to write about what is the method to prepare for spa salt, you need to write titration but not neutralization as they ask for method but not process. Neutralization is just the process, which is acid plus base. Like as an example, sodium hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid becomes sodium chloride and water. So step 1 we have here is pipette how many centimeter cube of alkali into a conical flask. Second, we titrate acid into the alkali until the solution turns from pink to colorless. Thirdly, we repeat the experiment without phenolphthalein. A small reminder here, we must pipette alkali first into conical flask, and then we titrate acid, as phenolphthalein is alkaline at first and will turn to colorless when they become neutral. If you pipette acid first, no changes will be observed because phenolphthalein in acid state is colorless, and when they turn to neutral, both of them will be colorless and no changes will be observed. And starting for the fourth step, it is kind of similar already. So you gently heat the solution until saturated. And next, we cool the saturated solution to allow it to crystallize. And number 6, we filter the crystal form using filter funnel. And number 7, we rinse the Oh, so sorry, not number 7. Number 7 is only for other preparation of soluble salt beside than spa. So we straightly go to number 8. We dry the crystal by pressing them between filter paper. And for preparation of soluble salt beside spa salt, the method name is filtration, and the reactant is anything insoluble, which is solid plus acid. Anything insoluble can be reactive metal or metal oxide, metal hydroxide, metal carbonate plus acid. As an example, copper 2 oxide plus nitric acid becomes copper 2 nitrate plus water. Number 1, we add excess solid powder into acid in the beaker. Number 2, we stir and heat the solution until no powder can no longer dissolve. This is to ensure it is completely reacted. Number 3, we filter excess solid powder using filter funnel in order to obtain the filtrate solution. And starting from number 4, it's kind of similar with the first step. We gently heat the solution until saturated. Number 5, we cool the saturated solution to allow it to crystallize. Number 6, we filter the crystal form using filter funnel. And number 7, we rinse the crystal using cold distilled water. And number 8, we dry the crystal by pressing them between filter paper. To summarize, to prepare for spa salt, to soluble spa salt, first we pipette, second we titrate. Number 3, we titrate again without phenolphthalein. Number 4, we heat it. Number 5, we cool it. Number 6, we filter. Number 7, we dry it. For preparation of soluble salt other than spa salt, number 1, we add in excess into acid. Number 2, we stir and heat. Number 3, we filter. Number 4, we heat. Number 5, we cool. Number 6, we filter. Number 7, we rinse. And number 8, we dry. That's all for preparation of soluble salt. Next, we come from preparation of insoluble salt. The method name is precipitation, and the process is double decomposition. The reactant is anything soluble plus soluble. For example, spa salt plus nitrate salt, which is lead 2 nitrate plus potassium iodide become lead 2 iodide, which is precipitate, plus potassium nitrate. Number 1, we mix 2 soluble salt in a beaker. Number 2, we stir the mixture using glass straw. Number 3, we filter the precipitate foam using filter funnel in order to obtain the salt. Number 4, we rinse the salt using distilled water. And number 5, we dry the crystal by pressing them on between. There is only 5 steps for preparation of insoluble salt. And to summarize for insoluble salt, first we mix 2 soluble salts. Number 2, we stir it. Number 3, we filter. Number 4, we rinse. And number 5, we dry it. That's all from me. Thank you.